I can't sleep at night. No matter how hard I try, no matter how tired my body feels, no matter how late it gets. My eyes close, but my heart stays awake. Every night is the same. The room becomes quiet. The lights go off. The world falls asleep. But my mind starts thinking about the past, thinking about the future, thinking about the things I wish I could change. Sometimes I stare at the ceiling for hours, watching the darkness, listening to the silence, and wondering why some memories refuse to leave. There are nights when I miss people, nights when I miss old moments, nights when I miss the version of myself that used to smile without carrying so much weight in his heart. I tell myself, sleep now, tomorrow will be better, but the memories keep talking, the emotions keep returning, and my heart keeps remembering things I tried to forget. Maybe that's why I can't sleep, because my heart is still carrying things my mind hasn't learned to let go of. But even tonight, as I sit awake under the moonlight, I whisper a small dua, Ya Allah, grant peace to my heart and rest to my soul, and maybe, just maybe, tomorrow will feel a little lighter. I can't sleep at night because when the world becomes quiet, my heart becomes loud. During the day, I stay busy, I smile, I talk to people, I try to focus on life, but at night, everything changes. The silence arrives, and suddenly all the thoughts I was avoiding come back to me. I think about the people I miss, the dreams that never came true, the words I never got to say, the moments I wish I could relive one more time. And before I realize it, hours have passed, yet sleep never comes. Sometimes I look at the clock, 1 a.m., then 2 a.m., then 3 a.m. The night keeps moving, but my mind refuses to rest. I tell myself that everything will be okay. I remind myself that Allah's plan is better than my plan. I remind myself that difficult days do not last forever, but some nights the heart still feels heavy. There are tears that nobody sees, prayers that nobody hears, and battles that nobody knows about. Yet we continue, we keep moving forward, we keep believing because faith teaches us not to lose hope. Tonight, if you're awake like me, looking at the ceiling, thinking too much, carrying worries inside your heart, then know this: you are not the only one. Many hearts are fighting silent battles tonight. So close your eyes, take a deep breath, and leave your worries with Allah, because the one who created your heart knows exactly how to comfort it. And maybe before the sun rises, your heart will feel a little lighter, your soul will feel a little calmer, and your eyes will finally find the rest they have been searching for. I can't sleep at night, not because I'm not tired, not because I don't want to rest, but because my heart keeps carrying conversations that never happened, dreams that never came true, memories that never truly left. Every night, the darkness feels different, the silence feels deeper, and somehow the things I avoid during the day find their way back to me. I think about the people I miss, the opportunities I lost, the prayers I'm still waiting for, the future I cannot see, and my mind keeps asking questions that have no answers. Sometimes I wonder, will there be a day when my heart finally feels at peace? Will there be a night when I close my eyes without carrying so much weight inside me? Will there be a moment when all these worries disappear? And then I remember something: every difficult chapter eventually ends, every storm eventually passes, every dark night eventually meets the sunrise. My heart may be tired tonight, but it is not defeated. My eyes may be full of tears tonight, but they are not without hope. My soul may feel heavy tonight, but it still believes in Allah's mercy, because no matter how long the night becomes, Allah is still listening. No matter how many tears fall, Allah still understands. No matter how lonely I feel, Allah is still near. Maybe the answers I want are not here yet. Maybe the blessings I am waiting for are still on their way. Maybe Allah is writing a beautiful chapter that I cannot see yet, and maybe that is enough reason to keep believing. So, tonight, instead of fighting every thought, I place everything in Allah's hands: my fears, my sadness, my regrets, my hopes, my future, everything. And before I try to sleep, I whisper one final dua: Ya Allah, calm my heart, ease my worries, forgive my mistakes, and fill my future with goodness beyond what I can imagine. I mean, because even though I can't, I sleep tonight, I still have faith. Faith that better days are coming. Faith that healing is coming. Faith that happiness is coming. Faith that Allah's plan is more beautiful than anything my heart can imagine. And if you're awake tonight too, remember this: you are stronger than your sadness, you are bigger than your worries, and with Allah, no difficult night lasts forever. I can't sleep at night, and maybe the saddest part is that nobody knows, nobody sees the battles happening inside my heart after midnight. Nobody hears the conversations I have with myself. Nobody feels the weight I carry when the world becomes silent. During the day, I smile, I work, I talk, I laugh when people expect me to laugh. I tell everyone that I'm fine, but when night arrives, the truth arrives too. The memories return, the worries return, the unanswered prayers return, and suddenly my heart feels heavier than it did all day. Sometimes I lie awake, staring into the darkness, thinking about the life I dreamed of, thinking about the people I miss, thinking about the opportunities I lost, thinking about the that feels so uncertain. And the more I think, the harder it becomes to sleep. There are nights when I replay old memories, moments that once made me smile, conversations that once made me happy, dreams that once felt possible, and for a few seconds I feel those emotions again. Then reality returns and my heart breaks a little more. I can't sleep at night because there are things I never got to say, feelings I never expressed, questions I never received answers to, and sometimes those unfinished chapters keep knocking on the door of my heart. The clock keeps moving 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Everyone else is sleeping, but my mind refuses to rest. Sometimes I wonder if Allah hears the silent prayers I make when nobody else is awake. The prayers whispered through tears, the prayers spoken from a tired heart, the prayers I repeat night after night, and then I remember Allah hears every whisper, Allah sees every tear, Allah understands every pain, and suddenly, even though the sadness remains, I feel a little less alone because maybe this night is not a punishment. Maybe this waiting is not meaningless. Maybe these tears are not wasted. Maybe Allah is preparing something I cannot yet understand. Maybe one day the things that make me cry tonight will make sense. Maybe one day the prayers I think are delayed will be answered beautifully. Maybe one day I will look back at these sleepless nights and realize they were shaping me into a stronger person. Life has taught me something. Not every pain is meant to destroy you. Some pain is meant to teach you. Not every delay is meant to disappoint you. Some delays are meant to protect you. Not every closed door is a loss. Sometimes is Allah guiding you toward a better door, and that thought gives me strength because honestly, there were moments when I felt like giving up, moments when I felt exhausted, moments when my heart felt too tired to continue. But every time Allah gave me another reason to keep going. So tonight, instead of asking why everything happened, I choose trust. Instead of asking why I'm still waiting, I choose patience. Instead of focusing on what I lost, I choose gratitude for what remains. And before I close my eyes, I raise my hands toward the sky. I leave every fear with Allah, every sadness, every broken dream, every sleepless night, every hidden tear, everything, and I say, Ya Allah, if my heart is tired, give it strength. If my soul is hurting, give it peace. If my future worries me, fill it with blessings, and if I cannot see the wisdom behind my struggles, help me trust your plan. Amin. Maybe I can't sleep tonight. Maybe tomorrow night will be difficult too. But one thing I know for sure, Allah has never abandoned me, not once, not during my tears, not during my loneliness, not during my sleepless nights, and not now. So if you're awake tonight too, reading these words under the same moon, remember this: the night may be long, the pain may be real, the tears may be heavy, but Allah's mercy is greater than all of it. And perhaps one day, when happiness finally arrives, when peace finally reaches our hearts, when our prayers are finally answered, we will look back at these nights and smile because we survived, because Allah carried us through them, because the chapter that once hurt us became the chapter that made us stronger, and honestly, that alone makes my heart happy. Tonight, as I think about you, I realize something beautiful. Love isn't measured by how much two people talk, it's measured by how peaceful they feel together. And baby, with you, even the quiet moments feel magical. Even silence feels like a love song. Even the simplest moments become memories I never want to forget. Because somehow you turned ordinary moments into the most beautiful part of my life. Baby, after thinking about all those quiet moments with you, I realized something that made me smile. The happiest memories I have aren't always the loud ones. They aren't the exciting conversations. They aren't the big moments. They're the simple moments, the peaceful moments, the moments where nothing special was happening, yet everything felt special because you were there. Honestly, before you, I never understood how powerful someone's presence could be. I thought love was about words, about messages, about hearing I love you. But then you came into my life, and suddenly I learned something beautiful. Sometimes love speaks loudest when nobody says a word. Baby, there were moments when we sat quietly together, moments where neither of us knew what to say. Yet somehow those moments felt complete. There was no awkwardness, no pressure, no need to impress each other, just comfort, just peace, just two hearts enjoying each other's presence. And honestly, that feeling is rare, very rare. Tonight, as I sit here thinking about you, I realize how much comfort you brought into my life. Not because you solved all my problems, not because life became perfect, but because you made difficult days easier to carry. Your existence alone made the world feel a little softer, a little brighter, a little more beautiful. Baby, do you know what my favorite kind of love is? The kind where two people don't need constant attention to prove their feelings. The kind where silence isn't scary. The kind where simply sitting together feels like home. And honestly, that's exactly how I feel with you. Because when my heart is with you, even the quiet moments feel meaningful, even the stillness feels warm, even silence feels full of love. Tonight, I find myself imagining the future again. A peaceful evening, a quiet home, you sitting beside me, the sound of rain outside the window. No long conversations, no dramatic moments, just you and me sharing a beautiful silence together. And honestly, that sounds like happiness to me because real love isn't always found in exciting moments. Sometimes it's found in the peace two people bring into each other's lives. And baby, you brought peace into mine. Baby, tonight I don't want to talk about grand promises. I don't want to talk about forever. I don't want to talk about perfect love stories. I just want to talk about something simple, something real, something beautiful. You, because the more I think about it, the more I realize that the best thing you ever gave me wasn't excitement. It wasn't butterflies. It wasn't even happiness. It was peace. And honestly, peace is one of the rarest gifts a person can give another heart. Before you, my mind was always full of noise, worries, overthinking, questions about the future. But somehow, whenever I talked to you, everything became quieter. The chaos slowed down, the fear became smaller, and my heart finally felt at home. Baby, do you know why silence feels beautiful with you? Because your presence speaks louder than words ever could. Your kindness speaks, your care speaks, your heart speaks, even when neither of us says anything. And honestly, that's the kind of love people spend their whole lives searching for. Tonight, I found myself imagining a future memory. Years from now, the world moving fast around us, life changing, time passing, but somehow we are sitting together in peaceful silence, watching the sunset, holding hands, not saying much, because we already understand each other. And honestly, that picture makes my heart smile. Because real love isn't about finding someone you can talk to for hours. Real love is finding someone you can sit beside for hours without feeling lonely. And baby, that's exactly what you became for me. A place where my heart feels safe, a place where my soul can rest, a place where silence never feels empty. Tonight, before this story ends, I want to thank you. Thank you for every quiet moment, every peaceful conversation, every time your presence made my heart feel lighter, every time you reminded me that love doesn't have to be loud to be real. Because honestly, some of the most beautiful feelings in life arrive quietly, just like you did. And maybe that's why my heart loves you the way it does. Not because of perfect words, not because of perfect moments, but because somehow you turned silence into comfort, you turned ordinary days into memories, and you turned a restless heart into a peaceful one. So, if there is one final truth I want you to remember, it's this: even if the whole world became silent tomorrow, as long as you were beside me, I would still feel complete. Because, baby, even silence feels beautiful with you. Baby, if this is the final page of my story, then let me tell you something my heart has been feeling for a very long time. Honestly, I never fell in love with you because of the things you said. I never loved you because of perfect moments. I never loved you because you always made me smile. I loved you because of the peace I felt whenever you were near. In a world full of noise, you became my calm. In a world full of confusion, you became my clarity. In a world where people come and go, you became the place my heart wanted to stay. And honestly, that's why loving you feels different. Baby, there were times when we talked for hours, and there were times when we barely spoke at all. But somehow, even during those quiet moments, I never felt alone, because your presence carried a comfort words could never explain, a comfort that reached my soul, a comfort that made me believe everything would be okay. Tonight, as I think about everything we've shared, I realize that my favorite memories aren't the loud ones. They are the simple ones, the peaceful ones, the moments where nothing extraordinary happened. Yet my heart felt completely happy because you were there, and honestly, that was enough. Baby, people often think love is about excitement, about grand gestures, about dramatic confessions, but I learned something different. Real love feels like peace. It feels like coming home after a long journey. It feels like resting after carrying a heavy burden. It feels like finding someone who understands your heart without needing explanations. And honestly, that's exactly what I found in you. Tonight, I don't know what tomorrow will bring. I don't know what destiny has written for us. I don't know where life will take either of us. But I know one thing: no matter how much time passes, I will always be grateful for the way you made my heart feel safe, loved, understood, at peace, because those feelings changed me forever. Baby, if one day you ever doubt your worth, if one day life becomes difficult, if one day you feel alone, please remember this. There was once someone who looked at you and saw something truly beautiful. Not just beauty in your smile, not just beauty in your words, but beauty in your soul. And honestly, someone whose life was perfect. And I didn't correct you. I didn't tell you the truth. Because for the first time in a long time, someone looked at me with admiration instead of judgment. Someone saw light in me instead of the darkness I had been carrying. And I didn't want to lose that feeling. But secrets are heavy things. The longer you carry them, the heavier they become. And now my heart can't carry this secret anymore. Because if our love is real, you deserve to know the truth. But before I tell you who I really am, you need to understand my past. Because the truth about my identity didn't begin today. It began many years ago. Years filled with mistakes, pain, loneliness, and choices that changed the direction of my life forever. There was a time when I wasn't the person you see now. Back then, I was lost, completely lost. I didn't care about the future. I didn't care about consequences. All I cared about was surviving another day, because life had already broken my heart too many times. When people suffer enough pain, they sometimes become someone they never expected to be. And that is exactly what happened to me. One wrong decision led to another, and another, until suddenly I found myself living a life I never imagined. a life full of secrets, a life full of shadows. But then one day you appeared in my life, and everything inside me started changing. Your kindness, your innocence, your belief in me, those things slowly reminded me of the person I once wanted to be. For the first time in years, I started feeling something I had forgotten: hope. You made me want to become better. You made me want to leave my past behind. But there was one problem. My past wasn't something I could simply erase. It was still part of me, still following me, still waiting for the moment when the truth would finally appear. And now that moment has come, because there is something about my real identity, something that will shock you, something that might make you question everything you know about me. But before I say those words, there is one thing I need you to understand. Everything I ever felt for you was real. Every smile, every conversation, every moment we shared, none of that was fake. The only thing I hid from you was who I truly was. And now I think you deserve to know, baby.